And most doctors don't know what health is. We are trained in the medical school for looking after illnesses. Thousands and thousands of them. There are books, yellow, but not a single thing on health. What is health is the question. Does anyone know what health is? Any of you in the audience? Health is wealth. That's right. Health is the absence of illness. Let's take these two definitions. First is health and wealth. How many of you knew that mankind was absolutely healthy before money came into this world? You don't know. There's a very nice study called the Innu Community Study. The study is so beautifully published, called Failure of Scientific Medicine, the Innu Community Study. Innus are an aboriginal race off the coast of Saskatchewan in Canada, who had no touch with what is called civilization, what you and I call a civilization. They were a sort of an aboriginal race. They were all for themselves, and they didn't have touch with mainland Canada at all up until 1732. And they had an egalitarian society and a hunter-gatherer sort of a type of society where they all worked, those able-bodied men worked, and they distributed their food equally. There are no banks, there are no loans, nothing belonged to nobody, everything belonged to everybody, and they all enjoyed it. There was no word called I. There was only one word called we. The difference is very simple. I starting with illness. We starting with wellness. Nice poem. Go home and read it. I'll give you 4 lines. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little do we see in nature that is ours. We have sold our soul. I added 2 words to the devil, a sordid boon. Today, we have sold our soul in every walk of life. I don't know about printing. In every walk of life, we have sold our soul. And our aim is making money and making big money. Greed, of course, is human nature, but Wall Street greed is something that has invaded us. You know what Wall Street greed is? Greed for everything. Everything must be mine. I am sure you all know 7 people in this world, 7 people in this world, 7 people in this world own 50% of the world's wealth. And 5% of the wealth is shared by 50% of this world. 3.3 billion people share 5%. I mean, is this fair? This is exactly what is called the Wall Street greed. Now, why are we now connecting money with health? And what is health, to be precise? Our friend said, health is absence of disease. Is there anybody here in this audience, including me, who has no disease? Anyone? Can you say, I have no disease? I don't know. Actually, there is no one without a disease. If we can scan all of us for a cancer cell, a mutated cancer cell, everyone will have not one cancer, but about 10, 15 cancers. But they don't kill you. They die themselves. But supposing I told you today that you have 10 cancers growing in you, would you survive more than 10 days? That is exactly why that definition came in 1947, which is called the Alma Ata definition of the WHO. You know what WHO is? World Health Organization. What is IMF? What is UNESCO? Do you know what these are? You don't know. Please get this book. You're a printers. Get this book called Perpetuating Poverty. Perpetuating Poverty. It's a beautiful book which is compiled by Cato Institute in Washington. You write to them as an organization, they'll send you the book free. Cato Institute, 1000 Massachusetts Avenue, Washington, D.C. 20001. And write to them saying that we are the Printers Association, we do good to others. Send us his book called Perpetuating Poverty. So beautifully it shows all these organizations are there to keep the third world poor. You're talking about this word science, very good word. Science, science. What is science? The real meaning of the word science is trying to understand this nature. But what the science of present day, monetary science, is trying to do is to teach nature a lesson or two. That's where we have gone wrong. Supposing you don't have a child, let us say. You're married, you're prosperous, you don't have a child. What's the use? You try everything possible and then probably adopt a child. But today, the present science doesn't let you that. They'll give you a test tube baby. You probably don't know the intricacies of the whole thing. Apart from all that, we still don't know what happens with test tube babies because we have only about 5 to 10 years that he can make that. And venture capitalists poured money there because that's where the future is. Supposing you make human beings without any father, mother, it's a big industry, you know. This boy collected about $100 million in 1 week from venture capitalists. At that time, his own professor who gave him the PhD, who is himself a Nobel laureate, Richard Smalley, wrote an article in the Boston Globe saying that forget about making a nanobot, you can't even make a DNA. So the company closed, chapter 11, and the man went home with $100 million. This is called science. Do you understand that? If you want to know what science is, from the Western scientists themselves, forget about this villager. I will give you a book. Please read this book. It's a small book, very cheap, but you must read it. Easy to read also. Even a non-scientist, an arts student, as our friend claimed, can also do that. And this book's name is The Golem. Golem. The Golem. He's writing down. Good. The book's name is The Golem. What is golem? Golem is not an English word, it's a Hebrew word. Any Malayalis here? No? What is golem? What? Oh, that is golem. Anyway, the golem is a Hebrew word. I'll tell you what it is because the same in Malayalam also. So probably Hebrew and Malayalam have some connection. It's written by 2 physics professors in New York, Harry Collins, C-O-L-L-I-N-S, Harry H-A-R-R-Y, and Trevor Pinch, T-R-E-V-O-R-P-I-N-C-H. These 2 people so beautifully tell you how the whole science is an edifice, an establishment to cheat us and keep us under the crowd and then frighten us saying that without science you can't live and then keep us under their control. The third world country people, the colonies to be under their control. That was the intention of what is called the original science of Newtonian, Einsteinian worldview of 2 dimensions, space and time. We believed that. We teach that even today in our schools and colleges, which has been proved wrong nearly 100 years ago. Year was 1925 when Einstein's own student in the Zurich Polytechnic told him, your science is you're talking through your hat. All that science and whatever you've been talking, all the Nobel Prize that you get, you know, everybody gets a Nobel Prize, provided you're anti-Indian and pro-West and pro-science. Very easy. I'll give you an example. 1906, J.J. Thomson gets the Nobel Prize for saying that electrons are particles. Okay? 30 years later, his own son, who becomes a professor in the same institute, Cavendish Institute in Cambridge, gets the Nobel Prize for saying they're waves. Father said they're particles and son said they're waves. And then 32, Erwin Schrödinger says they're wavicles. They're particles as well as waves. He also gets the Nobel Prize. But if you ask all these people, right up to the present ones, the only man who got the Nobel Prize for saying the truth is Werner Heisenberg himself, who said, nobody can know what an electron is. Everything is uncertain in this world. That's the only truth. It's called the uncertainty principle. But everyone gets the Nobel Prize. But no one has seen an electron to date. Why can't you see an electron? Can you see God inside a temple? Gurudwara? Mosque? Church? No. There's a beautiful stanza in our language, Kannada language. God, I search for you all over the place in buildings built with stones and mortar. But you staying inside, love and compassion. I have not seen you so far, God. What a beautiful saying. You're going in search of God all over the place. You can't see God and you can't see electron. Normal thing. All that we give you is we convert the average, which is a statistical term, into normal. How do I say what's the normal pressure, blood pressure of a patient? We take 1,000 people's blood pressure and then chart it on a graph, which is called a Gaussian curve, a bell-shaped curve. There are people with blood pressure of 180, 110, here 90 by 60, both sides are there. Now then we draw a median called mean plus 2 standard deviation, and that comes to somewhere, and we immediately say this is the normal, which means that all this on two sides, which are called false positives, they all become patients. So whoever goes for a checkup for one parameter, 25% false positives. Today there is no one parameter. You go now for a TBS, total body scanner, 750 parameters are checked. 750 parameters can be checked. Multiply 750 by 25. What will be the number? If one man goes in checkup, probably 1,000 patients come out. So in short, whoever sees the doctor becomes a patient. But Ayurveda, the old Indian science, is a beautiful definition of health. Samadatuhu samagnischa maladoshaya prasannatma indriya manah swastha ityavidiyate. It says, you get up in the morning and ask yourself, can I work? Do I sleep well? Do I eat well? Do I piss well? Do I shit well? And do I work well? And don't I hate nobody? I am healthy.